I think Oscar Wilde was right when he said that the only thing worse than being discussed is not being discussed. And so I think if you're a writer, half your job is to talk shit. So you want people to talk about the things that you're writing about. So like a good story is the kind of thing, you know, if someone starts with like it's a rainy day on a beach, it's like I'm just like asleep. Like I want to know like what's happening at the bar, 1 a.m., you're 5 pints in and you're telling like your best friend like something that really happened. Because that's where like the goods are, you know. It's all about secrets and storytelling. It's all about being conspiratorial, I think. So the mask, yeah. I think that there's something to that. You know, you make a decision to live a public life, and you want people to sort of project onto you whatever ideas that they want to. It's like fair game. It's fine. So yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
Time in your line like you always do. Yeah, know it well.
That's a great question. I think my personal view in life is that talent and work are indistinguishable over time, and that you can, you know, at the very like utmost limits of like say like a sprinter or something, you have to have some natural talent. But most things in life, if you're willing to spend, you know, literally thousands upon thousands of hours working on something, you become really good at it. And so, and then people will say how talented you are. Like, but it's not true at all. Like if you're willing to just sacrifice and work and work and work and rewrite. And so how does that relate to, it's like you better love it though, because otherwise you're not going to spend the amount of time that you really need to spend to get good at something. You know, if you're not willing to spend that much time doing something, well, if you don't love it, you're just not going to. So I think, you know, you should do what you love, but do it constantly. And don't be afraid to be bad at it first, and then be kind of good at it, then be good at it, then be very good at it. And those are discrete processes, and they take time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you spend all your time in a box, you know, living with the same people. I mean, you learn everything about them. You learn what you love about them, and you learn what you hate about them. And ultimately, sometimes that comes to a head. But we're fortunate enough that we're close enough that, you know, any bickering or whatever is usually put to bed pretty quickly. It's like, I'm mad. Well, I'm mad too.
And then we go. We have a table to arm wrestle, and then you just arm wrestle it right out.
Jared and I had a great one of those the other night.
It was like,
it was so great.
Why aren't you mad about this? I am mad about it. Well, then why are we yelling? I don't
know.
But let's keep yelling.
Okay. And then we both just yelled because it turned out we were
great.
frustrated about the exact same thing. And then we just both went, well, I want to yell a little younger. Me too. So we just yelled for like a minute. And then we kind of high-fived and then went to the pub. It was great.
Felt good.
That was a good one.
Lying in, there's nothing that I can do if I do it just one more time. I swear that I'll be through, yeah, I know it well.
Wow, that is a great interview question.
These are very philosophical.
I'm really excited about this interview. Anybody, I have things to say. Anybody else want to answer that?
No, go for it.
Anyone have thoughts on fame versus religion? I mean, I think it's a similar idea about idolatry, and that like people want to turn, like so much of fame is simply projection. You have an idea in your own mind of what an object is, and you've got within you objects that you adore and things that you have opinions about, and you externalize them on things that are sort of brought in front of you as an idea. And if you're in the public sphere, then you're one of those things. You don't exist as a person the way that we are sitting here in this room to one another and to you. We're just people. We have food. You know, we burp sometimes and we talk. And we have a certain smell. We have certain lilts, whatever, body posture, whatever. We're people to one another. You know, you become an idea. And then when you become that idea, people take what's inside them and they project it onto you. And it's interesting to learn about that when people do it. And I think when it first happens, I don't know about you guys, when it first happened, it took me a while to like separate those two things, where I was like, oh, I'm this person now. Like I really felt that, I think, for a good year or two. And then I just stopped, and I don't anymore. Because you can't live like that. You gotta make eggs. You gotta take the trash out. You gotta walk your dog. You gotta be a good friend to your friends. You gotta be a good son to your parents. You gotta be a good brother to your brother. You know, whatever it is. You gotta be part of a relationship with someone. There's gotta be actual love. And you can't walk around with this idea of yourself as other people have. Having said that, every now and then it is fun to kind of take a step back and just look at what we've wrought. You know, like I enjoy that. I enjoy like being on stage with these guys and looking out over some big festival crowd and just being like, look what we've made, guys. This is awesome.
We fooled all these people.
Yeah, we just suckers.
I feel like is there a John Lennon quote somewhere in this that like bigger than God? I don't know. Darren's our Beatles historian. I bet there's an apt John Lennon quote that addresses this religion versus fame thing, but I'm not sure what it is.
True.
Well, now the internet's going to flood us with, who said they're as big as the Beatles?
Well, definitely not saying that.
He definitely said that. And we're bigger than the Beatles, so.
You heard it here
And
first.
Kanye West is bigger than Michael Jackson.
Is that what he said in that one interview?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
he's the Steve Jobs of culture.
What? Did he really say that?
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Big fan, Kanye. Big fan. Much love.
I'm a fan of Kanye, but there's
Actually,
no
I
way
am
he's
too.
the
I love
Steve
really
Jobs
Kanye.
of. He's not the Steve Jobs of culture. That kind of way. Steve Jobs is actually the Steve Jobs of culture.
Maybe the Tim Cook. Sorry, Apple joke.
Tim Cook. Paul Allen. Can I get a Paul Allen? No. Okay. He's the Steve Wozniak of culture.
The new guy.
Sorry. Go ahead. That was the nerdiest series of jokes right there. Well, they're both. I mean, there's rules, and then you want to be aware of the rules and use them. And then sometimes it's really exciting to transgress those rules. You know, it's sort of like if you write a sonnet, you're forced to do things, make decisions that you wouldn't make otherwise, because you have to fit into the rhyme scheme. And so you're suddenly like rhyming pair with fair or dare, or air, or snare, or share, or whatever it is, right? Whereas that would never occur to you if you were just writing free verse. You know, so the same thing with songwriting. Sometimes you'll write a bridge. Like the Bridge to Strange Girl was written because Dave Sardi said, you should write a bridge. And I was like, okay. And then I wrote a bridge. And I went to the 2 minor, and then suddenly it goes back and it builds up back to this 4/5 thing. And like it was not something I would have thought to do before. And that was structurally based. But then having said that, there are no rules. The rule is expose your big fat brain to people and expose your big fat heart to people and let them watch. And then try to carry through some sort of like arc. And that's the entire rule. It's end of rule. And the extent to which there's rules for songwriting are just ways of doing that. But that's always it. It's always about your big fat brain and your big fat heart, and lay it on there in line for people in some way. And it doesn't have to be depth ridden either. It could be sexy or stupid or funny or irreverent or whatever. But the point is to just lay it out there for people in some way. End of rule for art. That's it. I felt a spirit stay in the room, and I wish my life was endless, 'cause it's all too short, and I'm leaving soon. And I wanna hold on to all.
People fear what they don't understand. Nobody understands death, but what is it? The 2 certain things in life are death and taxes. It's gonna happen. It doesn't matter what you do. There's no escaping it.
And it's awful, too. And so it's like it's hard to talk about things that are terrible. I mean, it's terrible when people die, and I don't want to die. I want to live to be 1,000. I want to like be one of those brains floating inside a robot body that gets shot into space and spends like 100 years contemplating existence, flying around in orbit, then come back and then like, you know, pitch for the Yankees, like as a robot in the robot leagues of 2,420 or whatever it was.
They'll be the Michigan Yankees.
Yeah, and they'll be the Michigan Yankees, and I'll be like the robot MVP of that year. And then I want to run for mayor of Washington, D.C., which will be underwater or whatever the hell it is. And like, so I don't want to die. So it's
Can
like,
you keep going? I want to know. I want to know what happens next.
I'm not even. I'm like 100%
Getting
serious
excited.
about this, guys. I'm not even joking. I don't want to die, and I want to be the one. I want to be the first brain floating in goo inside a robot that lives 1,000 years, and I want to write a book about it, and then I want to like live another 1,000 years and write another book, and like it's possible. So I just want to do it, and I don't want to die. It's awful. I hate it. And so that's I think why people don't want to talk about it, because it sucks so much. It's like, and so that's why why would you want to bring it up? Focus on what's good. We got coffee in the mornings. We get to have beers at night. We have friendship. We have sex. We have love. We have, all these awesome things in life that we get to enjoy. Puppies are so great. Skateboards are great.
I think you could have stopped at sex.
Drugs, movies.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, drugs are awesome in moderation. Kids.
Movies are kind of boring though, unless you take drugs first.
Books. I don't know. There's all these wonderful things in life, and those are very cool. Sitting cold under the ground and decomposing slowly with no consciousness sounds awful.
Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting. Yeah, there's probably something to that. But I mean, I'm gonna think that when I'm old. I'll still be going for it, man. I'll be like, I'll be sitting in a hospital bed, still going. You got the robot thing with the goo? Because I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm gonna get out of this thing. I got some more good. I'll probably be like 100 years old with like a drip in my neck or whatever, thinking, you know what? I think I'm gonna start like now a sculpting career, and then I'm gonna try and do that from the bed with one little whatever motor function is left in my pinky or whatever. That's how I want to live life. I don't, the rest of it. I don't know if that's being young. I think that's just being aware that you're alive.
I'm going out in like 2 years, Flaming Trainwreck though.
You didn't have
We're gonna miss him though. We're gonna have memorials to this guy. We'll have his face on the bass drum the whole time. Wherever we go.
2 years, I think.
Yeah.